But it doesn't happen unless you start putting your passion and your blood, sweat, and tears into something and then showing it to people and sharing your gifts.
Hello, everyone. I am Melissa Forziat of Take the Doughnut, here to help you get inspiration and get donuts. I'm a motivational keynote speaker, and today I'm bringing you a really fun Take the Doughnut interview with Kerstyn Lott, who is the owner of Confetti Yeti Cookies in Frisco, Texas. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here. I appreciate it.
I'm so happy to have you here. And first, I have to ask the question, but I'm going to add a little modification to it for you because of what your business is. What's your favorite donut? And also, what's your favorite cookie?
Oh, okay. Well, so my favorite donut, I'm ready for that one, is an apple fritter. I love apple fritters. I don't know what it is. I think it's all the little craggy holes in there that soak up the frosting. It's so yummy. And I probably am a sucker for fruit desserts. So that's the one I can't walk away from. I just love those. Cookies, oh my gosh, I love them all. It's like a Crayola box. You just open, for me, opening up a crayon box. I love all the colors together. I love all the cookies together. There isn't a flavor combo I won't try. But I probably have a hard time walking away from chocolate chip. Everybody loves chocolate chip.
That's totally fair. Chocolate chip absolutely has my heart as well. Well, I've said just a little bit about you up front, but tell us more about yourself. What should we know about you?
Okay, well, I kind of have had one of those lives that took twists and turns, and I went to school for art. And for a while, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with art. I actually, well, started in theater and then moved over to art. My parents were artists, and for a while there, I thought I might be working with my mom in her company, and that did work for a while. But my degree was photography, and I also did painting and printmaking, and I tried a lot of different, even sculpture actually. So you get to try a lot of different art mediums, and I really enjoyed that. And then I was employed as a photographer and as a graphic designer, so I have a lot of exposure of different types of art mediums. And I always really kind of enjoyed cooking throughout my life, and so when I finally landed on doing cookies at 40 something, it kind of brought it together, all of these different art mediums, and then my little side passion of cooking.
It's funny because it actually sounds linear to me. When
Okay,
you
well, that's
say it
good.
like that, it maybe doesn't seem that way to you, but I can
Right.
see the influence of all of those things in what you do. I mean, I think it just takes kind of sort of one scroll through your Instagram account to make sense of everything you just said. So that's so cool. Thank you for that
Yeah.
background. And for those who have never seen a Take the Donut interview before, I just wanted to hit the reset button for them and just catch them up on what we're doing here. So for me, Take the Donut is another way to say carpe diem. It's all about going after the things that you want in life. And it comes from this very strange thing that happened to me in college where I left an actual donut on a table, but that became an object lesson for me and what it looks like to leave opportunities behind. So I don't want to do that anymore. I want to take the donut instead of leave it on the table. So this conversation is actually all about going after what you want in life, going at seizing opportunities, and what does it actually look like to do that in real life for us humans when we go to do it. So let me ask you this. How are you with going after goals, Kirsten? What is that process like for you?
Well, okay. I think that I was raised to look for that. I think that it's something that's pretty natural to me. So my mom was actually a career woman, and so I was raised as her as a model of looking for something, looking for the donut to go for. So she had a very large multi-million dollar company as a greeting card company. And it was started in the 70s. And so I was born in the 70s as well. So I was raised along with watching my mom as a career woman early on when not too many women were career women. So she was given the opportunity to open her business by a businessman who saw her at an art mart and said, this needs to be a business. I'm going to have my wife help you run it. You do the art, and we're going to turn it into a business. And there was a donut presented to her, like, here's this great opportunity. I'm going to build this business for you. All you got to do is show up and make some drawings. So that was a huge role model to me as a kid. And, my dad was supportive of that as well. He's also an artist and always was looking for the golden opportunity. And it was almost a curse because I was raised thinking, well, one day I'll have this donut to take, and so when you invited me to speak on this, I said, well, that's funny because it's kind of been a life goal to find the donut in my life. But life happens, and sometimes you get that opportunity and you don't get that opportunity. I married and had kids, and I kind of realized I didn't want to be a career woman at that point. I really felt the pull to be a mom. And I was lucky enough to have kids and to be supportive of my husband. And I could stay home with the kids for most of their development and up until high school. Um, and so I did some things on the side, things like I worked in a preschool, and I also worked for my mom as a graphic designer. And then I did things like Girl Scouts and coaching softball and baseball, things like that. But when they got to be in high school, we needed more money to come in because life gets expensive. And so I ended up working in a corporate job. And I did not love working this corporate job because I was, kind of had an artistic bent to my nature. And so somebody mentioned that you could actually build a business on cookies. And I thought, cookies? So I've been doing cookies all my life for Christmas and, was raised to do them with my mom, actually. And we would make Christmas cookies and she would take them into work. And so I didn't really think it was something people bought, that it would be a business that other people do. I had zero idea. Really wasn't on social media. And then the Christmas cookie challenge came along and I watched that on TV and I kind of had this aha moment of that brings all of my skills together, my interest in cooking and art and graphic design and photography too. There's a lot of photography in what I do. So I did that for 2 years, working the corporate job and trying to build this side hustle that I had going on. And so I was juggling. And at some point, the demand for cookies became so big, I couldn't. I had a hard time fitting in my regular job, just trying to do my little side hustle, which I really loved. I really loved, doing these kind of silly cookies for people's parties. And so at that moment, I realized I'm going to have to take the donut and leave the corporate world behind that made more money. It really did, than do my little side hustle cookie business. And so that was scary to walk away from earning money, and maybe earning money as a cookie business, not a lot. You have to put in a lot of long hours. But I am so glad that I did because it just takes more of all of me and I can drive it into this business and it is lucrative and there's directions I can grow in the future. And so this really was my risky life move of putting all of my passions into this side hustle, and I guess I'm lucky enough that it worked out financially for our family.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot in there. I'm picking up some, I don't know, themes of like taking calculated risks, being willing to let go of a safety net, but only when it's time to let go of the safety net, things like
Yes.
that for you. But also
Yes.
um, that you have a certain flexibility if, you're on this path and you're working towards this goal, but actually this is now presenting itself and this actually seems like a much better fit. You're willing to make the change instead of being tunnel vision. So I think there's a
Yeah.
lot in there in
Mhm.
terms of how you pursue goals. One thing I'm wondering is when you have something really big that you're going after, what keeps you motivated, especially if you know it's going to take a lot of time or effort to get there?
That's such a interesting and difficult question. It is easy to get discouraged along the way when there's so many opportunities for discouragement. But I think what is really important is just to keep on moving forward, and that one of the key things that I have found for my own forward motion is their orders, is the customer feedback. And it's just the little bits of encouragement from the customers. Everybody loved them. Everybody wanted your name, your number. They all thought it tasted the best they've ever had, and then the encouragement of getting new ideas from my customers of, we want this theme for this other event coming up and something I'd never really thought about. And so my inspiration in forward movement really comes from just that next idea, just keep moving forward. And there's a lot of times where I will make something and I'm not exactly excited with what I made, but it may have made my customers happy, but I didn't like it. And so I could get personally discouraged of looking at what other people have made for a certain cookie set online and social media and think, I'm never going to be that good. Somebody else made it so much better. I could have been that person. I had the opportunity to do that, but I didn't. I fell short. But you just kind of have to keep moving forward, and there is always going to be that next day. And you kind of fake it till you make it. You just keep moving forward because there's always the next day, and you just keep having to learn. You have to tell yourself there's always going to be a next time. Just keep, new day is going to be another opportunity.
Beautifully said. When you might be touching on it there in that answer, but a lot of times when we go after things that we want, challenges come up, obstacles come in our way. And I'm curious for you if there's a particular brand of challenge that comes up over and over again. Like no matter what it is you're going after in your life, you can expect this challenge to rear its head. What is it?
Um, okay, well, let's see. My challenge is probably brain drain for me and getting tired and needing to be refreshed for the next order and the next week. Um, I do have a lot of orders that I do. I do like about 5 orders a week, and that's a lot. And so it's really easy to get tired and to kind of look for that next inspiration, to look for how am I going to get excited for this, random sports birthday or graduation set where maybe personally I'm not all feeling all that inspiration where I really want to do it. I think what helps with that is I have found a way to recharge my creative batteries by I've kind of created a space in my studio where I feel good up there. I like being in there. I've created my Pinterest board to have a lot of inspiring things in there. I have places I like to go to look for inspiration. And so when I'm not personally feeling that inspiration, I know places where I can see other things that'll help me recharge my batteries. And so you just got to find a way to keep moving forward because every week there's going to be more and more work to do.
That's a really high volume of orders to have
Yeah,
that creativity have to be right there for all of it. So that
yeah.
I haven't heard somebody talk about the creativity drain before, but that makes a lot of sense for the volume that you're dealing with, especially. And it sounds like
Mhm.
you sort of have a system for counteracting that as much as you can.
Mhm.
When you think back on your life, and this could be a personal or professional answer, what for you is the biggest donut that you've taken? And it could be the biggest opportunity you've said yes to, the biggest thing you've gone after. What comes up for you?
Well, so I think for me, really just taking this business as mine, just for me. It's difficult as a mom to want to fight for something that is just mine because I've been there for my family for all these years. And building this one business for me that is pretty self-serving because my family has a lot of needs. My kids are in college, and so I have actually been there for them. I've been there for my husband, and so now this is something for me, building my own ideas and thoughts and movement forward. And I do have a direction I'd like to grow in. So I feel like my biggest donut might be on the horizon. I would like to expand and grow. And I can see that in the future. I can see the table with the donut in front of me. But timing, as you noticed before, really does have to play a lot into that because, my kids are going to graduate. And so we physically might not be in this city much any longer. Sorry about the dogs. Let me know if you want to pause.
No, that's
Um,
okay. They're part of the interview as well. And I was going to ask, what is the donut that you're taking now? And it sounds like this is it. You want to expand. What does that look like for you? Do you have a vision of what that is?
Yeah, I really would like to grow into a brick and mortar store. I've reached the limit of what I personally can do with my time. 5 orders a week is all I physically can manage. I get a lot of requests to ship my product, my cookies, to other states, and I can't do that. So I need a staff. I need a staff for the amount of business that comes to me. And by Texas cottage laws, I'm not allowed to ship things out of my home because I work in my home. If I were to move to a brick and mortar store, I can hire a staff and meet the demand that's already coming to me nonstop of being able to ship. That's one thing. Another reason I'd like to have a brick and mortar store is actually so I can take a step back and I can hire a staff and maybe do some simpler designs and people could walk in and get them. And so there would be more of a moneymaker of cheaper stuff, cheaper meaning time wise, faster to produce, that people might be able to come in. I also would love to be able to meet the demand of classes. People have been asking a lot for classes. And so I thought it would be so much fun to have an event space where I could teach classes, but then people could come in and do kind of party things, how they have like, come and paint your own stuff and cooking classes. And so I'd love to be able to have a space where people could come in and have a Girl Scout party, bachelorette party, just mom and me, or just friends come in and just do a fun afternoon of cookies. And so um that would mean a lot of funding. That would mean loans. That would mean, a lot. And I could possibly do it in the city that I'm at, but I wasn't born in this city, and my family wants me to move back home. So we have to, as a family, figure out where's that going to be before I make that step, the financial step of moving towards a brick and mortar.
Given that people may be watching this, who is there any way people can help in the next step of your process?
Oh, wow. How people could help. I hadn't really thought about that.
I
Well,
just
I,
wanted to
I
put it out there
suppose,
because it sounds like something where maybe there could be support provided if enough the right people are listening to this.
well, wow, yeah. I suppose I have vision, I have drive, but I don't have experience of being a person that's running a shop. So if anybody wants to partner with me that has, knowledge of having an actual brick and mortar bakery, I kind of need that. Although I've worked in, food service in the past, so I have a little bit of knowledge of that. But that and uh I suppose continued support. And I just would hope that if I do move back home to San Diego, that I would still have people that would follow me and be interested in me in a different city. And yeah, I suppose funding, everybody would need funding for something like that. So that's my thoughts. I hadn't really thought about, this question before, but I guess
Yeah, I
that's
mean, I
that's what I
don't
need.
normally ask, but I think I don't know, this just sounds like to me like there could be a lot of ways people can help you along in this process. And if you're watching this and you fall into any of those categories, reach out to Kirsten and tell her, right? I
That would
think
be
just
great.
no time like the present.
Yeah.
So for those people who are watching this right now, who have a donut of their own that they want to take, it may still be an idea in their heads, or it may be something they've started to move towards, but they're looking for a little motivation to keep going. Let's sprinkle some encouragement. And what would you say to those people?
Well, I say so many people get stuck in a job. They get stuck in a rut. They get stuck in what life demands of them. My husband has a job that's been great but it's not his passion. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that get stuck in a job, but it's not their true passion, but it's paying the bills. Maybe you have something else that you want to do. Maybe it is cookies or something similar to that. You know, I say burn that midnight oil, do some online classes, follow what other people do on social media that maybe you have a passion for. Maybe it's not anything to do with baking, maybe it's something to do with woodworking. There's so many different passions that people have out there. I say just, pour your heart in there, do research, just figure out what it is that your heart is telling you to do. And then guess what? You're going to have to put it online, put it out there. I just started doing it too. My beginning was not pretty, but you know what? Word of mouth, and it took off because of word of mouth and friends and family. Friends and family were huge in getting my name out there. But it doesn't happen unless you start putting your passion and your blood, sweat, and tears into something and then showing it to people and sharing your gift.
Beautifully said. Yeah, I think people can help. People can support. Most of the things we want to do, we can't do alone. It's just unfortunately the truth if you're somebody who wants to get it all done alone. So just try putting it out there in whatever way you can, like you said. So for those who want to follow you on your journey, or who want to tell you a way that they can help all in your process, where can we find you? What link should I put in the description?
Well, I'm really only active on Instagram. So I'm Confetti Yeti Cookies. All one word, Confetti Yeti Cookies.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Everybody be sure to check out that resource. And if you liked watching Kerstyn's interview, be sure to like and subscribe because there's so many more inspirational interviews still to come. But in the meantime, Kerstyn, thank you so much for taking some time out of your very busy cookie making schedule and talking with me, talking with all of us about going after opportunities.
I am so honored for the conversation. Thank you, Melissa.
And to everybody who's watching this, thank you very much for watching and go out there, get inspiration, get donuts. Bye, everyone.